This video is about my monstrous physical queer TBR pile. Let's be honest, I read queer all year, and when I pick up a book and it doesn't have a gay character in it, I kind of want to put it down. And so I have accumulated quite a large physical queer TBR pile. If I were to only read queer books, I have a lot of material here. So this honestly probably will last me through the rest of the year, and I just have to pace myself with the straight novels. So first up, Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I was looking for the original cover with like the greenish face to it, and that is nowhere to be found. And if you want to order it online, it is like $80, and I don't understand, because when I initially had this book on my radar, that wasn't the case, and I should have bought it a long time ago. But here we are. I don't think this cover's bad, I just don't think it's quite as interesting as the other one. Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides, I think is how you say it. Just now realizing that he's the author of The Virgin Suicides, which makes this a much more interesting book than it already was to me. Carol by Patricia Highsmith. Fun fact, since I haven't read this book, I've avoided the movie like the plague, and until very recently, I thought that face was Jennifer Lawrence. It's not. That's really horrible. Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. And the second book to this recently came out, and the cover is a very similar scheme, but it's like purple and yellow, and they look so good next to each other. I saw them side by side in the bookstore the other day, and it is chef's kiss to whoever drew these. Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Recently, Nick over at Books Are Sick read this, flew through it, and it has me very inspired to pick it up soon. For Her Consideration by Amy Spalding. Outlawed by Anna North. This one has been on my TBR for so long. I almost bought it back when I read Whiskey When We're Dry. I was like, oh, which one do I buy? And I went with this one, and this is one of my favorite books of all time. So unfortunately, that has set the bar insanely high for this book, and I'm a little bit nervous to read it, because I'm sure it's a great story, but in my head, there's a direct comparison to one of my favorite 5-star reads. 6-star reads, I don't know, 6 out of 5. Like, I'm nervous. In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. I also somehow managed to find an autograph by the author copy. So not only did I find it, but I found the best version I possibly could have. She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. A Little Life by Hanya Yanahihira. I am intimidated by the size of this book, but also the feelings people say they have when they read it scare me. So I realistically have no idea when I'm gonna get to this. But I feel like I should while it's at least good weather. I don't want this to be a winter read. The Town of Babylon by Alejandro Varela. This cover is gorgeous. I really like the pink and the orange combo, but this looks to me like it should just be a massive poster. I think I recently saw Jack in the Books haul this. I don't know where I've seen this before, but I'm obsessed with this cover. Every Gift a Curse by Carolyn O'Donoghue. This is the third book in the Gifts trilogy, which somewhat recently came out in paperback, so I am now itching to read it. And I also am a sucker for these covers, because the set, they go together so nicely. But this is a really wholesome read. Well, at least the other two are so far. I imagine it has a wholesome conclusion. Last on my list is the Tales of the City series by Armistead Maupin. I have right here books 1 through 3. This thing's massive, but it's 3 books. And it's a lot of dialogue. It's a ton of dialogue. I've watched the Elliot Page series, and I can't fathom that goes through, I believe there's like 9 books in the series. So I don't know what's new information and at what point I'll hit new information. And so I feel like I need to do some research before I dive into this one to see if people typically read the whole series, or if like 1 through 3 for some reason is like the gist of it. I don't know. But this one's a doozy as well, much like A Little Life. That is my very physical, very queer TBR pile. I hope it lasts me through the end of the year, but I'm sure I will pick more things up. If you have any other recommendations from seeing these, I would love it if we created just a big old gay recommendation comment section, because that would be quite a good time.